Hey there, YouTube. This is Jesse again. My next video is going to be about riding mowers. This is a zero turn. It's a Troy built ZT50, I believe, RZT50. It's got a 23 horsepower Intech Briggs and engine on it, twin cylinder. I want to do a basic video, just overview of riding mowers for part 2. Part 3, I plan on doing just an overview of push mowers. So, this is seat. This is your operator handle up here. This is your engine. Gas tank. I'm going to get my camera up and I'm going to look at things closer. But it's very simple. Overview. The engine spins the belts. For this one, it spins the belts for the axles all the time. And then you can drive with the handles. Then it's got an electric clutch. When you engage the electric clutch, it kicks on the blades. That's really what you need to know. So let's take a little closer look at what's going on. So operator station, you have your key, there's your electric clutch, here's your throttle, and this one actually has a physical choke. Many of them, your choke will be throttle all the way up, and then the very end will be choke. This one is not that way. Hour meter doesn't work. It's common. So all riding mowers should have some type of deck height adjustment, should have some type of parking brake. Because this one's a zero turn, you have your steering through these. The way this works is when you turn the key, battery power goes into your key. And then when you turn it to start, you have a solenoid. On this one, it's underneath the plastic cover here, which is a pain to get off, by the way. So I'm not going to take it apart. I will in another video for troubleshooting. I have an Encore already pretty opened up. It doesn't run though. So from your solenoid, when you turn the key, it closes a solenoid. That solenoid is this wire here. This is your starter. Pull this out of the way. So this is your starter. So this wire will have 12 volts. And when this gets 12 volts, the starter spins. It engages the flywheel. The flywheel spins. You can manually spin your engine over normally by just doing this. So, air filter, oil, fuel pump, muffler on this one is below. There you go, there's a muffler. I had to kind of custom make the bracket for that muffler because that's not the factory muffler. There's just one I had sitting around. This is your throttle cable. So as it pulls, it puts spring tension on this. I showed that in the last video as well. This is your shut-off solenoid right here. So when you turn the key on, you should hear this click. And these are the wires for it. Here's my choke leakage. There's my carburetor in there. This is these Briggses. They have a 2-barrel carburetor, meaning these are independent of each other, kind of. They each have their own butterfly valve. They pull from the same fuse reservoir for fuel, though. So, as part of my basic overview of lawnmowers, Let's go underneath. And it's kind of hard to see, but here's my deck belt. Moves freely. This is my electric clutch. And then if I had a flashlight, you could probably see my drive pulley here. Yeah. So, troubleshooting. We'll go into a quick troubleshoot. If you turn your key to start, it starts, right? It spins. If you turn it to start and this doesn't spin, you need to go through the electrical system to find why the starter's not spinning. It could be from the key is broken, the solenoid is bad, the fuse is blown, the battery is dead, the starter's destroyed. A lot of things could go wrong. So that's the basic overview there. Fuel system on this one is a fuel pump. So this actual mower didn't start this morning like I'd expected it to, and yeah, it's out of fuel. So these clear fuel filters are much easier to see fuel in. This one's not very clear because it's old with age. Fuel pump, take suction there, in, out, carburetor. So if it spins but it doesn't start, my next step is normally to take the air cover off and pour a small amount of fuel, or spray some carb cleaner, or spray some brake fluid, something, starting fluid, into the intake and try again. If it runs with some type of fuel in the intake but then dies, that means you're not getting fuel, right? If you isolate what's missing, then you can determine what's wrong. So if you add fuel and it runs, that means it's not getting fuel. Air is generally taken care of. It's hard to say it's not getting air. So the biggest thing with air is your intake valve. If your valve lash isn't set correctly, you may not be sucking enough air, or you may be it may be too far open, you're not getting compression. Next is spark. Check your spark. Go to my handy toolbox. I use these spark plug testers. I use them because they're easy, and long ago I realized I was tired of shocking myself. So the spark plug tester, you just plug in the spark plug like normal, and then you plug the other end into the boot, and essentially it just is a light bulb that, as your spark plug fires, will get current as well. So no spark. I don't know why it should have spark. So interesting. But if I plug it back in, it's going to run. Likely what that means is I've blown the bulb out on my spark plug tester. Yeah, it looks pretty crappy. I'll have to diagnose what's wrong with my spark plug tester. They're not 100% reliable. I guess that's easy to see from here. I have several of them though. If you pour fuel in, it doesn't run, then fuel's likely not the issue. It may be multiple issues. Check your spark. The way you stop a small engine, when you take the key to off, there's a black wire coming from your spark plugs going into this harness, and your key will ground that wire. So rather than the electricity being made by the magneto and going into the spark plug and jumping the arc and creating a spark, it'll be made by the magneto, and it'll go from the coil just grounded to the engine frame, whatever it is, which will prevent the electricity flows the easiest way it can. Path of least resistance. So that's why you're grounding your coil stops your spark. Alright, so that's my basic overview of riding mowers. And they're all different, and I'm going to get more in-depth later on when I get time to get out here and make some more videos. That's just a generic. I've got one mower with Kawasaki, one Honda, several Briggs, and I have a walk behind with a riding mower style Kohler. So I'll try to get an overview of all these different styles of engines. Alright, thanks YouTube. If you have any comments, questions, anything you want me to show you in any more videos, let me know. Send it to me on comments, and I'll try to make sure my next video or a future video has the information you need going forward.